Right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to what I call the IC channel, a channel I created to be able to articulate the very grand notion of a collective perspective that we all have the ability to tune into. And this idea of lens and how we perceive this world is something that our universe, individually is communicating to us to tap into a collective subconscious, which we can use the metaphor of the sea to relate to this completely boundless, expansive place of pure potential. So we can tap into this through our now moment and perceive what might occur through our capacity at this moment. So, this continual notion to approach the world that we live in, and I say we because I am not alone and you are not alone, and that is a beautiful reminder. Anywho, so today we are tuning in to chat a little bit. I know you're not responding to me, but this is a conversation I have in the day-to-day world, and the context in which I find myself in, reminds me that I'm not alone either. And I have very many, instances to remind myself that my journey is still going on, and I'm still learning how to express what it is I'm here for and showing up in ways that'll make impact. So through the notion of career, right? What I do and how I serve, right? I find myself often communicating to people, what I have done, what my interests are, where my education is, and how I want to move forward in that, how to become more entrepreneurial in providing awareness and education and insight to being a human, and the ways that our energies are existing on the levels they are, and then how to unite that and integrate the interplay of all of the layers of existing. So when I talk about my experience as a nurse, people often ask me, "Oh, did you like it? Did you not like it? Or why did you stop nursing?" And some of the questions have been like, so many questions, and then mostly like comments. Oh, that was a good career. Why did you leave it? Or people go, I knew some used to be nurses as well, or I know some used to be nurses as well. So, anyways, why was I a nurse, and why am I no longer a nurse? The short answer is I was looking towards alternative medicines and how to show up for others outside of the, structure of the Western medicine model. And what is that, the structure of the medicine model? Why did I hit my head on the roof and go, peace out? Much love and respect, a love from afar. You have your place, and I no longer have space inside of it. So, my experience as a nurse was primarily inside of long term care. I was geared for it for sure. I definitely had my time in the hospitals because you got to, as your training is, and I thrived because it's a fast paced environment, which I enjoyed. I was learning so much and quickly interacting with people, and helping them along their way with wherever they're at to bring them back to a baseline they could maintain. So in the long-term care setting, I witnessed people who no longer were working towards improvement but were maintaining, whatever their capacity was for day-to-day life, and I was instilling dignity and independence as much as possible, as well as doing whatever I could to provide comfort and, some extras to expand within one's ability to make sure they were, living a quality life, whatever it was looking like at that time. And so my understanding of expectations had to be shifted into a different notion of such. I had to lower my expectations and realize that the idea of change was a conversation that not many people wanted, and that's what I am. I am change. We all kind of are change, if you could say what we are, on a level of humanism, and yeah, all that stuff. Like, what are we as humans? We are evolving, always evolving into a new and, you know, refined form. So new and refined form is what we are walking into at all times. And if we resist that and refuse that, we are cutting ourselves off or shutting off from a part of us that is calling us, a part of us that is asking, do more, do differently, do within alignment and within foundation of sustainability, because we have to sustain our energy to the point where we no longer can. And what is this balanced notion of sustained energy? How can we make choices and align our life force to sustain ourselves for the notion of longevity and quality of such? We need quality in order to even desire to carry on this idea of life for what it is on the individual level. And us as individuals, together, we can share quality. I love this, and this is what I've learned, and this is what's brought me, betterment and improvement, and here I am living the best, and I must share with you, my friend, because I see now what has served. So my idea of a server, my idea of being in service. I was a nurse, and now always will serve in a way that really does provide a service. So outside of the framework of the Western medicine model that I smashed my head up and around on the roof because I realized there's only so much room for improving life and providing change, they actually didn't want that. That was a notion that I realized. The funding itself, let alone the room and the day to speak to the roots of concern and get to the root of what is going on to then provide specific and effective care planning and interventions and treatment, whatever may be required. So as the server that I am, always having served in restaurants and bars and in the nursing world and then back to restaurants and in the attempts to teach yoga, I know I'm here to serve. What that means is a little different than the context provided previously, as the limits of the worlds I've been in previously provide. I would like to serve individuals who do see themselves, with a passion to carry on in life, whatever that may mean, with goals and ambitions to do better for themselves and maybe improve their own individual life, and thus then let that ripple out to others. Because I think on some level, I know on some level we all want to serve each other in that way and be there to advise and support everybody else we encounter that is willing and able. So the idea of service, I could go on for quite some time within the serving world and nursing world. No matter what I'm allowed and permitted to do, I can maximize that. I show up and, within the framework of one day and however much time I'm allotted, I can instill wisdom and provide service and consolement and, water or tea, a good meal, a good conversation, a good laugh, good music, a hug, love. I'm here to serve this notion, have it on a shining platter, because I've learned through my time and experiences what it really means to show up in a way that is effective, that will actually transform and shift myself and another person towards more of the thing that we're all looking for. More love, more capacity, more range of motion in our bodies and our expressions. So I've learned many things, and I keep saying that. However, I have learned that the receptivity of another person is very much a priority of my focus. And so I can only say so much in certain moments, not only because of a time factor, but also the receptivity of somebody and their willingness to hear and listen and receive. And so it was this wonderful metaphor of saving my seeds and not planting those things, the seeds, upon rocks or unfertile soil, saving them for fertile soil so that they may grow. And so here I am inside of this context of technology to be able to sit in front of the conversation that is this: how can I nourish another person when they don't want to hear it, or maybe don't have time for it? Maybe I can just talk to a computer and hopefully you're hearing me at one time or another that The things that are coming towards your awareness are for you to learn from. I have faced the places, many of them, there's always going to be more, that have brought me to understanding greater what it means to live with harmony and balance and alignment, how to nourish myself in the layers that are required, how can I breathe my movements and provide myself space to have emotional responses, and thus then extend that to another person, another friend, saying, hey friend, I'm here for you in these ways that we can define through context and time. And so to carry that idea further, the things that serve, the aspects of reality that are requiring us to, maybe let go of some things and adopt other mentalities and ideologies, frameworks, practices, rituals. What can we do that actually serves our purpose? Because my purpose will affect those around me. And thus, simultaneously, I'm here to speak the idea so that then you may understand, or if you're already on your way of purpose, you do understand that there's only more to grow into. There's only room for improvement, and to avoid it is to really remove yourself from the beauty that's in store for you. We all have this idea of a path, and we all have learning that will come to us through obstacles and challenges, and maybe my difficulties aren't your difficulties, and maybe they are. Maybe the things I've struggled with are exactly what you need to hear. So this is where I'm at inside of my world, to meet places and people to speak in a way that can shed light on my process and how the process itself has met me, and I've made my decisions, based on information provided. And if we had more information, oh my goodness, if we had all of the information, wouldn't we make the best of it? Wouldn't we choose the best decision available to us if we had all the resources, right? And ultimately, there's this beautiful reminder that we are already doing that. And so if we have a little bit more information and resources of such, maybe we would be able to shift gears into creating time for our bodies and our friends that are, really our friends and that really care about us and care about themselves primarily. Because if we don't care about ourselves, do we really care about other people, or are we just there to people please and, show up and fill space and time because we're really not figuring anything out? And I've been there. I thought that my life has always been, a thing. My life, I thought, here we are thinking about life. I thought I was always, meant to show for people who are in need and then meet their needs. And actually, to shift that around and reframe it a little bit, I am here to empower people to make their own decisions, because everybody's going to make their own decision. Like, for example, you watching this YouTube video. If you're going to make a decision to watch this through the 13 minutes and 13 seconds that it has been already, maybe you really care about showing up for yourself in this world, and how and in what way will it affect you and others, right? Alignment, placing yourself in the context that will improve your life. It does take time and energy, but what you're also doing is shutting the doors that remove your energy or drain your battery or cause you to spiral downwards and maybe send you on a negative wave of, oh, I'm helpless, I can't do anything, and there's too much to deal with. And so removing yourself from certain notions, all the way out they are, so gone, 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 gone. Then you walk into a place where you go, hey, I can control this, or I can show up for this, which may mean very little. And maybe, you're like me, and you're like, well, that's not a big enough impact, and I have to help everybody, because everybody needs to know that there is so much more out there than the options provided. Maybe we think pharmaceuticals are the only option, that, oh, well, my back hurts again, I'm just going to pop a Tylenol and carry on, drink my coffee. Coffee's great, maybe not the first thing in the day, first thing you're ingesting in the beginning of the day, especially with a pharmaceutical that really, has an intense concentration that kind of sends your system into a filtration mode. Remove, get rid of, this is what I'm talking about is dealing with pain, and the teachings that pain has to offer us ought to be dealt with in an alternative method than pharmaceuticals, because pain is here to guide us towards alignment. Go figure. Our bodies actually operate within the pain-pleasure spectrum and response system. So like we get a little bit of pain, we go, oh, well, that caused that. So how do I, get back to like homeostasis, balance, neutral energies, no pain, this is good, I can ride this wave. And then, oh, no pain, oh, that's pretty not painful, that's pretty enjoyable. Too much pleasure, also pain. So the alternatives to dealing with things and, our choices of how we cope, be it food or, a toxic relationship, that word is very much exaggerated but also very real, because maybe that person fills the void because we feel really, really alone. But what are we missing? Our own energy, our own company, our own love. How can we fill ourselves full and overfill so much so that we can then serve other people? And I think it's some part of our nature, maybe it's just mostly mine, but I believe all of us deeply want to be there for our surroundings. We are meant and geared and structured and designed to love our world and all the nature and creatures within it. And if we don't feel that, and do something with that feeling and act upon it in a way that is creating more love and nurturing and beauty, all the stuff we want to do, then there's something missing. There's a piece, there's an aspect of our energy that is calling to us and saying, hey friend, like, come back a second. Let's fill your cup up. Let's take care of yourself so that we can then say to our surroundings, I love you. So service. To serve. I am here to serve, and what it looks like may be different. Conversation can go a long way. My conversations to your heart, my conversations to your body, because teaching yoga and the asana world is a thing that may happen, and maybe you want to have one-on-one coaching. Maybe a conversation is all you really need to then go, hey, these are things and options and choices for me to improve my day-to-day life, and it'll fill my cup and align me to purpose, whatever it may look like, whatever I'm here to create, as the individual is responsible to identify. Nobody can tell you what that looks like. And for myself, really nobody can tell me. And I've listened to a lot of people for a long time, and I've put down my life in order to pick up other people's, because I was like, oh, like, you need a little bit of this, or I see your need here. What I can do is continue to do life for myself and meet people in the middle of doing life, whatever it looks like for them, and celebrate it, congratulate it, talk about it, shed awareness back and forth, because maybe I don't have all the tools yet. Obviously. And the things I have learned, maybe someone else hasn't, because my direct experience through foster system, the nursing world, the serving world, restaurant version, wellness-centered conversations through yoga and philosophy, maybe all those things, and I say maybe, but certainly, all those things I've been focused upon, and maybe you haven't, probably, maybe not, or maybe you have, and there's just other ways to articulate it so we can learn from one another. And I love learning. I love loving. I love being in this process of dialogue with people. And if I'm monologuing and this is helpful, let me know. If you have questions, oh please, friends. I'm open to hearing them and answering them and being specific. As the idea goes, I'm generally speaking here. I'm being very broad with some of the words. But if your day-to-day life, is causing a less than ideal result to how you feel or want to feel, then maybe there's room for conversation, and we can make some tweaks and reframe a couple things of your past and your future, and then we can come meet in the middle of like certain choices and decisions that'll provide space for your heart to live freely. And ultimately, I'm here to help that momentum. So with that, mad momentum to you all. Much love, much respect, much peace and ease. Many blessings, and until next time. Thank you.